Interior design YouTube is gaslighting you into buying home decor products you do not need. And what are my qualifications? I just moved to a new apartment and I only brought a mattress and 2 counter stools. And I spent 3 weeks sitting on the floor because buying a real sofa felt like giving into every video telling me I needed a boucle sectional and 12 throw pillows before this counted as a home. So I can tell you which products you actually need and what's just affiliate marketing dressed up as advice. So I think it's best to start this video in the entryway because it really sets the tone for the home. The internet has convinced you that you need the most luxurious long runner in the world. But if you live in a space that is a standard space, who has room for that? This is truly the drop zone for absolutely everything. Our shoes go here, the stroller goes here, like the dog leash goes here. Everything you need to actually live goes in this space. And honestly, I'm starting to feel like rugs just lead to more mess, and it's mess that you cannot see. With these floors, I'm able to see every speck of dust, and frankly, I'm disgusting. So I think if you have space for an entryway rug, that's fine, but I think a 2x3 is more than sufficient. You don't need the long runner taking up space. You don't need the long runner that is stopping your door from fully opening. So many people struggle with that. They get the entryway runner because the designers say that they need them, but because of the pile height, the door gets stuck. So you forget to close the front door, or you're always shifting the rug around. It's just a waste. There are so many other ways to add personality to your entryway. And if you're worried about dirt coming into the house, a great way to stop that is to just put a rug outside your front door, whether it's an apartment or a house, and let that be an outdoor rug so it can get all the dirt and debris off before it comes in the home, and you're kind of just good to go. Plus, I like a no shoes household, and when you have a rug in the entryway, that rug still gets debris on it, right? Because people are taking their shoes off there. So this way, at least it's easier to clean up. The next item I think social media is convincing you that you need, that you don't actually need, is a candle collection. Now, I love a good candle, right? And in my old house, I had about like 20 candles that I kept in a cabinet, and like, sure, I would rotate through them sometimes, but more often than not, I had a favorite candle, and that's the one that I burnt. There's also this notion that I've been thinking about a lot recently, that the scent of your home should really match your interior design style, right? So my style is very moody, it's very like harsh, I would say, and I like it, right? It's my own interior design style. So having a floral scent really just doesn't lend to the entire vibe of my home, and you kind of want them to match, right? Because you want every layer of your design to tell one story. You don't want there to be different storylines. So you want the scent to articulate the exact same thing that your decor and your artwork and your furniture is articulating. Now, personally, I decided to just make the switch to incense. I got one style of incense. I got it in cone form. I got a chic little marble incense holder. So like it's a piece of decor, but it always burns the same incense. It looks chic, and it's a santal scent. So it smells exactly like in line with the rest of my home so that it makes sense. And I don't have to worry about storing it anywhere like you would have to with candles. I don't have to worry about soot, trimming wicks, anything like that. That's just such a pain in it ends to needing candle snuffers, wick trimmers. It just leads to more visual clutter. So now I have this, I just put it in like a little grouping of 3 in my entryway, and you are good to go. I truly believe that there has been a console table conspiracy. I don't know who started this, but I think there has been one. People say that you need a console table with storage. I've been even one of those people. And you know what? Those ones tend to be a lot more expensive. So there might be something underlying that. But I think a console table that has actual ample tabletop space is more than sufficient. And let me tell you why. Because what you put on top of your console does a lot for your space. Now, obviously, if you have a console where you put shoes in it, then like that 100% has merit. But a lot of people have consoles that have like empty baskets underneath and vases underneath on like the other shelves. Like, what is that doing, right? Nothing, absolutely not. I think it comes down to what you put on your console. If you have like an appropriate catch-all, if you have a lamp, if you have somewhere to put your keys, if you have enough empty space to put your bag up here when you get home from work, I think that this is sufficient. And my friends, you don't need as much overhead lighting as you think. People are putting 10, 20 can lights up there. For what reason? What do you need to see? This apartment only has lights in the kitchen, in the bathrooms, and in the closet. So in all of the bedrooms proper, and in the living room and like the dining area, there are no lights. There are no lights. Oh, and the entryway has a light as well. But there are no lights in the primary living spaces. These spaces are supposed to be like intimate. You're supposed to foster conversation. Nothing says have a conversation with me than like, hey, what did you do today? Like, that's not comforting. That's not chic. That's not cute. The overhead light also like diffuse light, right? So it's not even like helping you really complete a task or anything to that effect. So having floor lamps, having uplights like this one. So I have uplights back here. Obviously it's the daytime, so it's only going to give off so much light, but I have uplights back here, one on each side of the sofa. You can see the little glow here. It gives off enough light so that at nighttime, if I'm coming out here to work after babe has gone to sleep, I don't want to wake everyone up, or you know, I just want to sit out here, we want to lounge out here, drink a glass of wine, whatever, we can do that, and we can see each other well. We can engage in conversation, and it's like nice, calming lighting that's like lulling us towards the end of the day, as opposed to light that's like, oh my God, it's time to start the day, good morning. So different vibe. This is exactly the type of vibe that you want. So we have two of these. We have this floor lamp that I DIY that is truly powered by this magnetic light bulb that I have. I don't use it in this color light, obviously, and I turn it on at my leisure whenever I need it. And then I have this little snazzy torch lamp from IKEA, and truly I got this because on day one when we got here I was freaking out about light because I thought I needed it a lot more, and I hadn't lived through what I've lived through and like been here to tell the tale. That sounds so dramatic. But what I like about this lamp, okay, it needs to be tightened apparently, but what I like about this one is that you can rotate it to be many different types of lamps. So you have a task lamp. This is almost like a spotlight. And then this is a torchlier, right? So 3 different types of lamps in one. You're getting the best bang for your buck. And hear me when I say, when I have felt like I really did need light elsewhere, I just carry this around. Or, newsflash, you get USB lights. I find that people are so anti-USB lights because things with USB rechargeable capacity used to be so lackluster, but they're not anymore. So I literally ordered one to this house, and I just carried it around from room to room. And now you're probably thinking, where on earth are you putting that little lamp? And I'm putting it on a box that I have flipped upside down because this is the only side table that I own. And that was a mistake. You need side tables, people. You can either have a coffee table, you can have side tables, but honestly, I don't think you need a coffee table because I think like the more natural motion, right? You're drinking something, you want to put it down like this, or maybe you're like working or something like that. Like I don't like to sit like this. I like to, you know, sit back and do whatever. But I mean, it depends on how you like to sit, but you need one or the other. You need at least a side table or a coffee table. I have neither. And like this box, like I'm not parting with it until I move. I was like, should I tile it? I'm going places I don't need to go. So buy some type of side table, buy a drink table if you don't want to take up space with the side table, buy a C table, buy one of those covers to go over the side of your sofa, but do something. Same thing goes for nightstands. I'll take you into the room shortly. We didn't buy any nightstands. Honestly, I feel a little bit differently about the nightstands. I think the bedroom, you're not moving around as much, you're not eating as much, you're not drinking, you don't have as much stuff in the bedroom. I have a backup box ready to go in case this one falls apart, because this situation is dire. And now it's time for a really tough conversation. And I've been one of the influencers who has contributed to this, and I'm sorry about that. You don't need 50 pots and pans. And I've learned that because I only bought 2 pots and pans with me, and then I bought my Caraway bakeware set because I bake for my child and I bake a lot of food. I bought this one all-clad pan that has a strainer attachment, right? Let me show it to you. And you can see right here, there are no more pots and pans. I have this all-clad pan. It's a strainer, it locks, so you don't really need an additional strainer. And then I have this Our Place Always pan. It comes with a steaming attachment, and you can cook everything. It's non-stick. These 2 pans have gotten me through fully. So not only am I able to reclaim so much storage in this kitchen, and if you're looking at any of these cabinets and you're like, they look a little bit dirty, this is what they permanently look like. Okay, I don't own this house. I trust I have scrubbed them. The last tenant just stained them, okay? Don't come for me. But you only need really 2. Not only does it like not take up as much space, there are fewer dishes. You're more likely to do all of the dishes every night so that you can actually shut down the home. Because you're like, if I did not clean the pan, I cannot eat tonight. And I know some people will be like, well, I'm gonna just Uber Eats. Thank God it's dirty. But the other half of people will be like, oh my gosh, let me wash this and do what I need to do. And welcome to my bedroom. The next thing I found that you don't really need is a king size bed. I know all of Europe feels this way as well, so that's not really new information, but you really truly don't need it. They take up a lot of space. Now, I swore I'd never go back in the closet, but here I am. You don't need a dresser if you have a basic closet. Now, I would not necessarily call this a walk-in closet. I would call it a stand-in closet, and that's fine. But you don't need a bunch of dressers and drawers and stuff like that. You can either have nightstands with storage, or you can be, you know, it doesn't need to look pretty. These are literally all the clothes we own, the two of us, besides like our winter clothes, which we left at early home. This is enough. And then we just bought these from IKEA. Are they glamorous? No, but they fit everything. They keep us organized. And if we buy too many things as to where they don't fit in here, that has let me know that we have overconsumed and we need to cut back. And finally, something that you do need is some type of bathroom storage. Oh my gosh, it looks horrible in there. And I probably deep clean this bathroom every 3 days. You need the pretty containers. I'm sorry, you need the pretty containers. The label clutter is awful. You need a peel and stick shelf on the wall. It just looks so bad. You need it. Like, it just is, it stresses me out. Why do you want your home to stress you out? Why am I stressed out over this? Like, I'm moving, but were I not moving, this would have been something that I'd rectify immediately. I mean, what is this? What is this? We have the bottles everywhere. We have the purple shampoo stain. Bestie, I cleaned this literally 24 hours ago, and it's my fault. The purple shampoo is me. But it just, things are gonna stain, things are gonna get cluttered. I cannot stand it. I need things to be up high. And since there's only overhead lights, like there's no little lights, you need night lights, okay? When I have to pee in the middle of the night, when Babe has to pee in the middle of the night, it is an event, right? Because either we all have to get up or you have to hold your bladder, all right? Because you gotta turn the light on to be able to see. So night lights are definitely a must. They're not just if you're afraid of the dark, okay? They're a practical item that you need. Okay, you guys, that's it for today's video. Those are some items social media, interior design, YouTube, and Instagram has convinced you that you need. Do you need them? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment. Is this just my opinion, or do I maybe have some merit to my argument? And until next time, have a beautiful day.